The Young Slave Girl, a story by Basile. Have you ever considered that the biggest family secrets might be buried, alive? What if everything that seemed like love was actually just the beginning of a prison? Get ready. The story you've never heard reveals how any one of us can become a slave to a story we didn't choose to tell. Desire, enchantment, and the birth of taboo. Right after the initial impact, the music becomes more contemplative. The camera flies over forests shrouded in mist. In a village forgotten by time, amidst the whispers of the wind and the secrets of stone, lives a young woman named Donatella, desperate to become a mother. Every month she crosses forbidden gardens and whispers promises to whatever is divine or profane in exchange for a child. On a moonlit night, Donatella discovers an ancient mystery. She offers him a risky gift, a magic rose. Swallow your intentions without fear, and you will see your deepest desire fulfilled. But remember that all magic comes at a high price. Deep down, Donatella's fear of loneliness weighs as heavily as the desire for an heir. She accepts, swallows the rose, and feels her life change. Months later, Lisa is born, a child of rare beauty, with crystal eyes and skin as pale as porcelain. The mother's happiness is fraught with obsession. Donatella guards Lisa as if she were a sacred artifact. Only she touches her. Only she teaches her. Only she determines what is allowed or dangerous. Next to the crib, there is always a delicate porcelain doll with a crack in its chest, a subtle symbol of the fear that all perfection might break. Lisa grows up, but unlike other children, she never plays in the street, never falls, and never learns the price of her own mistakes. Donatella fears the stains more than the dangers. Don't touch that, Lisa, it's dangerous. Don't stray, it's safe here. Have you ever lived under the weight of someone you love so much that it ends up suffocating you? What memories do you have of care that turned into limitations, of love that became a fear of living? Lisa learned early on that her mission is to never disappoint, never get hurt, and never cry out loud. She then becomes a living doll, admired, but trapped in the protective bubble created by her mother's traumas and unmodified desires. On her 10th birthday, she receives a cracked doll as a symbol. Her mother whispers in her ear, "Promise you'll never leave me. Promise you'll never break." Lisa promises, and somewhere, a crack deepens, invisible to the naked eye. Time seems to bend around Lisa. While other children learn through falls and losses, she grows up in a rarefied world where everything is too delicate to be touched. The silence is heavy. Only the sound of the wind rustling against the windows and the mother's soft footsteps break the monotony. On a rainy afternoon, Lisa hides to play with a kitten she finds in the hallways. She knows she shouldn't. Every act of disobedience is a risk. Every clear laugh a reason to release her mother's anxiety. The playful cat sneaks out under an old tapestry. For a moment, Lisa feels the urge to run after him, feeling the cold texture of the castle stones on her bare feet. For the first time, a real touch of the world. But, while trying to rescue the cat, Lisa trips. The scare is quick. A small cut on the finger, almost invisible. But there, where the blood flows, the mother's fear finally materializes. She faints. Her senses fade. The world recedes into a soundless darkness. Donatella's scream echoes through the castle. "My daughter, my life." In her despair, holding Lisa in her lap, she refuses to accept death. "In the end, it was me who broke my doll," she thinks anxiously. Consulting healers, priests, and elderly women of the village, Donatella hears the same phrase: "There is no hope." Unable to bury his daughter, he preserved her body in a crystal coffin, veiled among relics and treasures, surrounded by ever-renewed flowers. Next to the body, she places the cracked doll in a kind of unconscious ritual. The objects of error, the object of desire. Life in the castle grows cold. Donatella isolates herself. The servants have abandoned the house and the garden grows wild. Lisa, untouched by time, looks more like a haunted painting than a living memory. Hook 3. Approximately 6 men. What did your family hide deep within that castle? A secret, a trauma, a pain never confronted. How many generations pay the price for the fear or silence surrounding a loss? In that suspended environment, time passes in a strange way. Donatella grows old, becoming a shadow of her former self. Every day she speaks to her beloved daughter, in a tone of promise, praise, cries, recites legends so that one day, some miracle might return Lisa to her. In the village, they whisper about the cursed castle, about the enchanted girl's room. The children grow up without ever going near the gate. The adults avoid looking out the dark windows. When Donatella dies, there is only silence. The castle remains impassive, concealing its glass secret. Decades pass. Winters, storms, and seasons come and go. Without realizing it, Lisa's presence, half life, half death, echoes within the halls like a guilt dormant in the family's unconscious. Many springs and winters have passed. The once vibrant castle now seemed like a mere shadow amidst the thicket, its walls bearing the weight of a history paralyzed by fear and excessive caution. The village, despite its superstitious nature, continues moving forward. Generations of children have heard legends about the adorned room, where a beautiful girl sleeps forever, protected by glass, flowers, and mystery. No one dared to cross the obstacles, but everyone felt the strange presence, as if any happiness could be interrupted by an unresolved secret. Until one night, a noble family arrives in the region to restore their former dominion. The new master, Paolo, is an ambitious man, determined to restore life to the forgotten castle. His young wife, Clara, is curious and daring, a restless spirit who is quickly captivated by local stories. While Paolo plans banquets and renovations to restore the property's splendor, Clara wanders through the empty corridors. Feel the heavy atmosphere, the old paintings, the scent of dried flowers and extinguished candles. Guided by something undefined, she discovers a hidden door at the back of the castle, locked and surrounded by withered roses. The key was under a silver vase, as if it had been kept by someone special. After some hesitation, Clara turns the lock. Upon opening it, you'll face the biggest surprise of your life. In the middle of the dark room, she finds the crystal coffin. Inside, Lisa, seemingly untouched, adorned with old robes and flanked by the cracked porcelain doll. Clara doesn't scream, but her body trembles. He examines Lisa carefully. He notices that the young man is breathing slowly, as if trapped between worlds. Suddenly, he notices a tiny shard of glass embedded in the girl's finger, documenting ancient legends about curses and sounds induced by magical objects. Clara decides to take a chance. She delicately removes the fragment with her fingertips. The next instant, Lisa opens her eyes for the first time in decades. Suffocated by the light, disoriented, she tries to speak, but can only manage a trembling whisper. Clara supports her, wipes her face, and tries to explain how much time has passed. Lisa, lost, cannot understand. For her, there is no difference between yesterday and now, between childhood and youth, between life and death. Clara, moved by compassion, takes Lisa to the castle's washroom, washes her face, gives her clean clothes, and tries to tell her about the world, showing her the now blooming garden, the new servants, and the return of hope to the home. As the days go by, Lisa begins to recover. She slowly learns to walk, to talk, to taste and smell unfamiliar things, to listen to the children at the party and at work around her. Have you ever experienced a sudden awakening? A brutal re-entry into life after years of inertia? What's it like to realize that the world has changed, that you've lost track of time, and that all that's left is to learn everything all over again, like a child? Despite the initial shock, Clara begins to feel jealous of Paolo's gaze towards Lisa. The presence of the young, beautiful, and mysterious woman awakens insecurities and rivalries. Once again, Lisa finds herself trapped in a toxic family dynamic. Now it's not the mother, but Clara, who sees the girl as a threat. The cycle of envy and possessiveness, of fear and revenge, is ready to restart. Only the names of the oppressors have changed. Lisa, still scarred by the pain of her first exile, does not understand the cause of so much hostility. He tries to please, to work, to exert himself beyond what is necessary, but only receives harsh orders, unfair punishments, humiliation, and isolation. Time begins again, but the cycle of suffering seems endless for Lisa. The beautiful young woman, once forgotten in crystalline silence, is now silenced by shouts, orders, and humiliations. Clara, increasingly consumed by envy, assigns the most difficult task to the newly awakened girl. Lisa cleans stables, gathers firewood, scrubs floors with stiff brushes, and serves at the table while being ignored or humiliated by guests. His fingers, once delicate, soon become rough and calloused. Her hair loses its shine, and her pale skin acquires sunspots and soap blemishes. On the outside, Lisa loses everything that once made her mother proud. On the inside, she still feels her soul crack with each curt command. At night, alone in her small basement room, Lisa dreams again about the porcelain doll. Dreams shatter completely, becoming 1,000 fragments, disappearing from where they are only accepted if they remain intact to fulfill someone else's desires. But also dream secretly of escaping, redesigning the world, finding a place where you can be loved without having to erase who you truly are. The only comfort lies in the small gestures of the other castle workers, simple people, accustomed to the weight of injustice. An old cook offers her crumbs of fresh bread and whispered advice. "You are stronger than you think, girl." No one has survived so long trapped in silence without having a special gift. A stable hand hides ripe fruit for him. A shoemaker improvises new shoes with strips of leather torn from scraps. Small acts of kindness create an invisible, almost magical trail of hope. Lisa discovers the strength of discreet alliances, of the compassion of those who also know the dark side of fate. One morning, while tending the garden, Lisa remembers how afraid her mother was of the magic rose. She picks a flower and, daring for a moment, pricks her own finger, just to check. Is she still really alive? Blood flows, a deep red color. Unlike before, Lisa remains awake. She laughs to herself. It's an intimate, almost childlike victory. I'm no longer a victim of the spell. I'm here, feeling fear and pain, but feeling. Hook 5, approximately 12 min. Have you ever noticed how even suffering can awaken resilience, creativity, and the seeds of freedom? How many times has pain that seemed unbearable transformed into the drive to escape the toxic cycle and reinvent one's own destiny? Clara's punishments are increasing. The lady of the castle notices Lisa's resistance and seeks new ways to hurt her, taking away her food, forbidding conversations, threatening to banish her strictly during the winter. But each injustice only fuels Lisa's desire to break free from that situation. The solidarity among the other servants also grows. Each one in their own way teaches her about secret exits, the mistress's blind spots, and ways to hook allies inside and outside the castle. Winter is coming. Lisa, exhausted, almost gives up. But then, on a moonless night after a brutal punishment, she finds a note left by someone who understands her. When you feel there is no escape, run to the old oak tree. It holds a secret for those who dare to ask for help. That night, while the others sleep, Lisa decides to obey the call. Alliances, blossoming in the dark, and the first step towards resignification. Lisa feels her heart pounding like never before. The fear of patience is great, but even greater is the dread of remaining where one is. Dawn breaks the silence. Putting on the makeshift shoes the old shoemaker had made, and wrapping herself in the cook's worn cloak, she strode lightly down the hallways. Every creak of the plank is a threat. Every shadow in the path could be Clara leaning against it, lurking, watching for her downfall. The moon timidly peeks through the clouds as it reaches the oak tree. In the trunk, a discreet crack conceals an old wooden box. Inside, a small bottle of oil and a note. Apply this oil to your wrists when you feel there's no turning back. It will reveal the true path. Without hesitation, Lisa pours the liquid onto her skin. A sensation of warmth runs through your body. Your senses sharpen. Your eyes see details that were previously imperceptible. The once dark trail at the edge of the forest turns golden, as if tiny fireflies were guiding your steps. Along the way, he encounters animals, a hare, an owl, a fox, all attentive, almost reverent. It's as if they recognize in her the mark of a survivor, of someone who was wronged but didn't lose courage. The cold cuts deep, but hope ignites an inner flame. The more she walks, the more alive she feels. Every pain from the past now transforms escapist energy into a life force. A little further on, you'll find a clearing covered in winter flowers. There, an old woman, the same mysterious old woman from the early legends, waits, seated on a rock. The woman's gaze is enigmatic, sometimes compassionate, sometimes stern. "You didn't come here looking for shortcuts, girl, but to show that pain is also a path," she says bluntly. Lisa, kneeling, cries. She talks about her life, the crystal coffin, her days as a slave, and her dream of being able to love and be loved without having to hide what she feels. The old woman offers him warm bread, fragrant soup, and attentive ears. It teaches about flowers that bloom in the cold. It teaches about wounds that create space for new roots to grow. Don't fear the past. Every piece of you, even the parts that cut you, serves to build the woman you are becoming. Lisa feels real hope for the first time. They spend hours talking, sharing confidences, shy laughs, and lessons about survival, about the cycle of guilt and liberation. Book 6, approximately 15 men. In your life, who was the anxiety that appeared when all seemed lost? Have you ever noticed that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, but rather intelligence and courage? The night is already giving way to the bluish hues of dawn when Lisa, strengthened by the conversation, bids farewell to the old woman. She receives a rose seed. Plant it when you feel ready. It's the key to your new era. Back on the road, Lisa takes a deep breath and, for the first time, feels she has the right to choose. She continues on, light and determined, towards the unknown, but now in control of her own pace. Lisa remains alone, but curiously stronger. The days that follow are a mix of small victories and challenges. She meets other travelers, exchanges stories, and learns about the world beyond the castle walls. Every person who crosses your path is a mirror. A generous farmer teaches him about planting rice and caring for the land. A young widow speaks about grief and the value of rewriting one's own destiny. A group of wanderers gathering for a few nights around the campfire, listening to and telling legends of suffering and overcoming adversity. The stories Lisa hears are not just comforting, they are material for learning and growth. For the first time, we realize that the world is made up of broken people, of paths marked by loss and new beginnings. One night, sitting in privacy, Lisa remembers the old woman's gift, a magical rose. Its seed, wrapped in silk fabric, pulsates between her fingers. She digs, plants in the wet earth, waters with tears, and makes a silent request. "I want to be free from the story I never chose. I want to deserve my own happiness." With time and the dawn, the rose blooms, first hesitant, then vigorous and full of color. It's a clear sign. The magic is no longer in submission, but there is no power of choice, no flourishing built from pain. Lisa returns to the village she once feared. He walks with his head held high, his hair loose in the wind, his scars visible but now worn like medals. The people, once timid, receive her with respect and curious glances. Some remember the legends of the beloved girl. Others simply see a young woman full of determination and her own unique brilliance. The reunion with Clara is revealed. The lady of the castle, now aged and less confident, is surprised by Lisa's presence but tries to maintain an authoritative tone. "Don't think you can challenge me. Everyone here knows who's in charge." Lisa, however, no longer accepts orders with the same fear. "Today, I know who I am. What I experienced here will never be erased, but it no longer determines my destiny." Clara attacks with crossword puzzles, trying to make Lisa doubt again. But the young woman responded with clarity and compassion. The fear that your voice instilled in me transformed into strength. The pain ceased to be a prison and became an escape route. The discussion attracts the attention of the servants, the peasants, the former allies, and even Paolo, the master of the house. They witness not only the confrontation between two women, but the ultimate liberation from a story that for decades served to imprison in silence. Who do you really need to confront? Which figure from the past is still trying to control you when you're already a different person? When was the last time your voice trembled not from fear, but from the courage to say, I exist? Do you see that total liberation only comes when we stop judging and instead embrace and tell our own story in our own way? With the tension resolved, Lisa realizes she doesn't want to take the place of the oppressor. He honestly offers Clara the help, inviting her to rebuild the castle as a shelter for travelers, wanderers, and other survivors. By planting new roses next to the oak tree, Lisa transforms the great symbol of beginnings, the magical flower her mother desired, into a promise of welcome for all the broken and those starting over in the region. The village thrives, the stories multiply. The old castle of secrets becomes a house of encounters and parties where no pain is forbidden or silenced anymore. With the village flourishing and the castle transformed into a shelter, Lisa feels she has finally found the place she never had. Not just a home, but a role of profound importance in the community. She spends her days listening to stories from newcomers, teaching the art of transforming pain into beauty, encouraging others to recount their broken lives without shame or silence. With each new rose that blooms, families gather to plant them together. Children, adults, the elderly, each bearing their own invisible scar, feel like you belong, are accepted, and celebrated. The cracked porcelain doll, once a symbol of trauma and impossible perfection, now occupies a special place in the castle's great hall. Instead of being hidden, it is exposed, with a small sign. Only those who have the courage to look at their own cracks will flourish. Lisa, now a role model for many, keeps a public diary where she recounts not only her pain, but also the beauty of overcoming it. Their stories are read aloud on full moon nights, with music, dancing, and emotions overflowing throughout the restored house. On those nights sitting by the oak tree, Lisa gives thanks to those who supported her, but especially to the inner courage that allowed her to break the cycle of solitude and service. The past never was, she says, looking at the children sitting at her feet. But if we have the courage to tell the whole story, even the darkest part can serve as a seed for new beginnings. The cycle of roses and stories continues to grow. What if you went? What crack in your story is still hidden for fear of judgment? What pain still needs to be acknowledged and shown to the world? Not as shame, but as a sign of strength and survival. Donatella and Clara are dark maternal archetypes. Controlling love, jealousy, the attempt to imprison what is beautiful and vital to avoid one's own pain. The cracked doll, a symbol of impossible perfection and the fear of making mistakes or disappointing others. It is only freed when exposed and collectively given new meaning. The crystal coffin, a place of frozen trauma, of a secret that paralyzes generations, broken only by those who dare to touch the wound with tenderness and truth. The elder and her little allies, collective wisdom, the support of the unconscious, internal and external resources beyond the biological family. Ultimately, the young slave is not about literal slavery, but about emotional cycles that repeat themselves until someone has the courage to escape, ask for help, recount their pain, and build new alliances. At the heart of Lisa's narrative beats the echo of many other Lisas scattered across different times and spaces, living through similar battles under different masks. A young girl growing up in a cramped big city apartment, pressured by parents who project their own unfulfilled childhood dreams onto her. Love comes, but it's always tied to the demand for perfection. Top grades, impeccable conduct, a flawless body, a smile for family photos. She learned early on to hide her own desires. In adolescence, every mistake seems to crack an invisible doll inside her chest. The silence that dwells at the dining table is the same as that of an ornate castle, and unspoken secrets become ghosts within the walls. There's the boy from a working-class neighborhood, targeted by his separated parents who, unable to tolerate failure, force him to succeed to compensate for their own unhappiness. He feels the weight of a glass box, a white room, books, awards, expectations. Every stumble is punished with demands and threats of abandonment. To survive, he learns to lie about his truths, keeping a dark scream inside, hoping that one day someone, perhaps a friend, a therapist, a lover, will know how to remove the shard most embedded in the finger of his heart. And then there's the executive, approaching middle age, tired of a life where everything she did for others. The daughter of absent parents, she became a pillar of support for her younger siblings from a young age, a mother to herself and others, her youth locked away in the vault of "I can't make mistakes." Time passes. The body craves rest, but the mind, trained for servitude, repeats exhausting journeys, unable to say no. Only when losing health or seeing children repeat the same cycle does one realize that a break is necessary. Each therapy session is like opening a crystal coffin, exposing a cracked doll, and relearning one's own name. In the contemporary world, Lisa is US, those of us who try to escape the normal prisons, of abusive relationships, of work that makes us sick, of aesthetic and media pressure, of inherited memories of an alcoholic, misogynistic, or emotionally absent home. The porcelain doll is modernized. It can be a perfect social media feed, a polished resume, an exemplary marriage in the eyes of the outsider. The crystal coffin has become a silent consulting room, a support group, a secret diary, an inbox for friends on the other side of the world. In the bustling community of the rebuilt castle, Lisa hears other voices. The girl who says she can finally talk about her anxiety attacks without fear of revenge. The man who confesses to living 30 years with the guilt of not liking his father. The exhausted mother who finally cries without hiding from her son. Everyone plants together in the rose garden, each plant named after a painful memory. Bullying, racism, abuse, abandonment, homophobia, envy, loneliness. There, everyone feels seen, less alone, and shame becomes fertilizer for new roots. Lisa gradually realizes that no crack ever completely disappears. She simply learns to look at herself with less judgment and more curiosity, rewriting her old role from victim to survivor and agent. As the nights wear on and the castle fills with voices and light, Lisa, now mistress of her own story, keeps the door open to every stranger, broken or not. Each new guest, arriving with a suitcase full of secrets or even just the clothes on their back, understands that here, finally, no one needs to fit into someone else's narrative. And so, the legend of the young slave becomes a living story, no longer the tale of just one, but a mirror that reflects back to everyone. Lisa's, Paolo's, Clara's, and Donatella's, the certainty that every cycle is broken when we tell and retell our truth. In the end, the cycle is never just pain. The cracked doll is now proudly displayed in the main room, surrounded by flowers, not notes. And Lisa, every time someone takes her trembling hand to confide in her, smiles, because she knows that no prison is complete when shared. The ending is collective. Every revealed secret can one day become a garden. If this story resonated with you, share it in the comments. What family secret has blossomed into a beautiful flower in your life? Which crystal coffin have you dared to open? And what was your first step out of the cycle of pain like? Subscribe to the channel. Share with those who need courage to break the silence. Here, fairy tales are just the beginning of the healing process. Turn on notifications and come back every week to celebrate new stories, new roses, and the power of being you, whole, with all your marks. How about blossoming together?